You're wasting your energy trying to convince people who don't want to understand you. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome without ever needing to justify himself to anyone. He simply let his results speak louder than words. 2,000 years ago, this philosopher-emperor discovered that stopping the need to argue, stopping the need to explain, and stopping the need to chase after people is the secret to earning genuine respect and transforming your life in less than 30 days. Most people spend 90% of their energy trying to prove their worth with words, but the Stoics knew that strategic silence combined with consistent action is 1,000 times more powerful than any speech. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your like and comment what part of the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Why do so many people feel that they must always explain themselves? Have you ever wondered where this urge comes from and why it feels so strong? From a very early age, most people learn that giving explanations is part of being polite. As children, many hear grown-ups say that they should say, "sorry," or "excuse me," or explain why something happened. When a child makes a mistake, people often want to know the reason behind it. If a child does not explain, sometimes adults may get upset or think the child is being disrespectful. Over time, people start to believe that giving explanations is a must in every part of life. This habit becomes stronger as people get older. At school, students are told to explain their answers. At home, family might ask, "Why did you do that?" Or, "Can you tell us your reasons?" Later, at work or with friends, the same pattern repeats. If you make a choice that others do not understand, someone will usually ask for your reasons. If you do not answer, you may feel you are being rude or that people will think you have something to hide. Because of this, many people develop a very strong feeling that they must explain themselves every time someone questions them. They think that if they do not explain, people will misunderstand them. They fear being seen as someone who does not care about others. This belief can be so deep that people start explaining things even when nobody asks. They may give reasons for what they wear, what they eat, what they say, or even small decisions like what time they go to bed. People often think that explaining themselves will make their lives easier. They believe it will help others understand them better and keep away any problems. They hope that by giving many explanations, they can avoid criticism, judgment, or conflict. For example, imagine that you arrive late to an event. You might feel the need to list all the reasons why you could not come on time, even if nobody blames you. Or if you turn down an invitation, you might give a long list of reasons, just so the other person will not get upset. This belief can become automatic. Many people do not even notice they are doing it. It feels like an obligation, like something you have to do to keep life smooth. When a friend or family member asks, "Why?" you may feel anxious or tense right away. You might fear that something will go wrong if you do not give a clear reason. This can make you feel trapped, as if you have no choice but to always defend or explain every action. Because this pattern is learned so early and repeated so often, it starts to shape the way people see themselves and the world. They believe that approval from others is very important. Each time they explain and the other person agrees, they feel safe and accepted. When their explanation is not enough, they worry about losing respect or being misunderstood. This cycle repeats day after day, and the need to be liked or accepted becomes very strong. This is where many people get stuck. They spend a lot of time thinking about what others might think. They start to watch everything they do, asking themselves, "Will people understand if I do this? Should I explain why I made this choice?" Sometimes people even avoid doing things they want, just because they do not want to face questions and have to explain themselves. This way of thinking makes even small everyday moments stressful. A normal conversation can become a test. If someone says, "I do not get why you did that," or "What made you choose this?" people may feel a rush of worry. They want to be seen as good, polite, or smart, so they rush to give reasons, defend their choices, or show they are right. This can add a lot of pressure. For example, someone might be in a group of friends who want to go out to eat. If one person prefers to go home and rest, they might feel guilty and say, "I'm tired because I had a long day, and I did not sleep well last night, and I have to wake up early tomorrow, so I think it's better for me to go home." Instead of simply saying, "I would like to rest," they list every detail to avoid being misunderstood or judged. Deep down, this habit of giving long explanations comes from the fear of not being accepted or wanted. Most people want others to think well of them. They do not want to be left out or criticized. The act of explaining is a way to try to keep everyone happy and keep peace in relationships. This can feel safe for a while, but it also comes with hidden stress. People often start to feel anxious if they do not explain everything. If someone questions their actions, they may feel their heart beat faster or worry that people are judging them. The thought of leaving someone without a full explanation can make them feel guilty or afraid of what might happen next. In many families and cultures, this habit is passed down from one generation to the next. Parents, teachers, and community leaders may teach children to explain themselves, thinking this will help them be polite and avoid trouble. But nobody teaches when it is okay not to explain. So, the idea that explaining everything is always the best way is rarely questioned. When you look closer, you see that many people around the world share this habit. In the workplace, people give long reports about every task. In friendships, people share every thought behind their decisions. On social media, people explain their posts. It becomes a part of daily life to add reasons, details, and justifications for almost every action. There are also people who believe that if they do not explain themselves, others will think they are weak, secretive, or have something to hide. Some worry that silence means guilt or disrespect, so they rush to talk and explain, hoping to erase any doubt. But this need does not always lead to more understanding between people. Sometimes, the more you explain, the more others question you. If you give several reasons, someone might find something to disagree with. This can lead to more questions and more explanations. It can become endless. Instead of clearing things up, explanations can make situations more confusing or even create new misunderstandings. This way of thinking turns small talks into big tests. People prepare answers for questions that may never come, just in case someone asks. They rehearse their words. They worry for hours about what they should say if someone questions them. This takes up energy and mental space, leaving less for things that matter. The habit grows in many small ways. For example, if someone brings lunch from home and a co-worker asks why, they might say, "I am saving money and I want to eat healthy, plus the restaurant is far and I did not have time to go out." All of this just to avoid a simple, "I felt like bringing my lunch." Over time, small habits like these build a life where explaining and defending become almost constant. People with this habit may also become very sensitive to criticism. If someone disagrees with them, they feel the need to prove they are right. If someone shows doubt, they respond quickly with reasons. Trying to prevent any misunderstanding becomes a full-time job. They want to show they are open, honest, and clear, but in reality, they are just making life more complicated for themselves. Most people do not realize how much this belief controls their actions. It shapes what they choose, how they talk, and how they feel. Choosing an outfit for the day can turn into a debate in their mind. Will people ask why I wore this? Will I need to explain? Deciding to rest instead of working extra hours might make someone prepare a list of reasons for taking a break. All this effort to explain and justify comes from a good intention. People want to keep peace and avoid trouble. They want others to see them as respectful and honest. But the cost is high. Life becomes full of worry about other people's thoughts and possible questions. There are some common signs that someone is caught in this belief. If you often feel like you have to defend your plans, if you get nervous when someone raises their eyebrow or asks for more information, or if you fear being seen as rude or strange without a long explanation, you may be stuck in this pattern. This chapter is not about blaming anyone for thinking this way. The need to explain is normal and very common. It is something most people learn early and see practiced all around them. But it is important to see how much of life it can take over. A simple belief, "I must always explain myself," can make each day feel more difficult than it should. When you try to please everyone by explaining every action, you forget about your own needs and your own reasons. You start living for others, waiting for their approval. You might make choices based more on what you think others want than on what you really want for yourself. This cycle is difficult to break. People fear that if they stop explaining, others will be angry or will not understand. They worry about being alone or losing the respect of people they care about. The truth is, most people are not thinking about your choices as much as you believe. Still, the fear feels real and keeps the pattern going. Some people convince themselves that this way of living is good because it means they are open or transparent. Being clear is important, but there is a big difference between open communication and feeling forced to explain every little thing. One helps relationships, the other can weaken them. When you over-explain, people might get tired or feel uncomfortable. They may even respect you less because they see that you do not trust your own choices. What is the main idea to take from all of this? The belief that you have to always explain yourself is very common, but it is not actually helpful or necessary. This habit, while taught by society, does not lead to more respect or understanding. If anything, it can make your life stressful and complicated. Imagine how much simpler life could be if you did not feel this pressure. Imagine making choices, big or small, and feeling at peace with them. Imagine being asked, "Why did you do that?" and simply smiling, knowing you do not have to share every detail unless you choose to. Think about how much lighter you might feel if you did not worry about every possible question. Breaking free from this pattern does not mean refusing to talk or never sharing your reasons. It means learning that you do not owe anyone an explanation for every single action. Sometimes your choices speak for themselves. Your actions and results will say more about you than 100 reasons ever could. At its heart, this belief comes from fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being disliked, fear of conflict. Learning to let go of the need to explain every action is difficult, but it is possible. The first step is to notice when the old habit appears. Each time you feel the pressure to explain, pause. Ask yourself if it is really needed. Many times, the answer will be no. In the end, understanding this belief is the first step to changing it. It helps to see that you are not alone. Many people feel the same way. You do not have to keep the habit forever. You can choose a new way, one where you value your own reasons and trust that your actions will show your true self. Letting go of the belief in constant explanation is the start of quieter, stronger confidence. When you start to see that the need to always explain yourself is a heavy habit, it is easier to notice the way it shapes your everyday actions. This habit does not only influence what you say, it changes how your mind works, how you feel about yourself, and how you spend your time and energy. The real cost of always trying to explain yourself is much bigger than most people think. It is not only about saying words, it takes away peace, rest, and the freedom to live in your own way. Imagine waking up in the morning. Before your feet even touch the ground, your mind goes through possible situations where you might need to give explanations. You think about who you will talk to during the day. You wonder if your choices will make sense to others. You plan answers to questions that have not even been asked yet. This worry begins before the day has started, and it often does not end until you fall asleep. When you think you must always be ready to explain yourself, you use up much of your attention and focus just on other people's opinions. Every action becomes something you must defend. Every plan becomes something you must justify. This does not feel light. It feels tiring. You may want to relax, but your mind keeps going over every detail. You rehearse the words you might have to say if someone questions you. This habit of preparing explanations can steal a lot of time. Instead of enjoying your activities or moving forward on your work, you pause to think about what others may ask or say. You try to find perfect reasons. You hope you can make everyone happy or avoid conflict just by explaining well. But in the end, the day passes, and you see that most of your thoughts and energy went into something that did not bring you closer to your own goals. It is not only mental energy that you lose. Your emotions are also affected. When you are always thinking about what you need to say to defend yourself, your emotions become tense. You start to worry about making mistakes. You fear being misunderstood or disagreed with. You get nervous before simple conversations because you already expect that someone may not agree with you. If a friend calls and asks about your plans, you might feel pressure to give a full report, not only a short answer. For many people, this way of living becomes a routine. They always expect criticism. They always expect someone to question their actions. They might think, if I do not give a full explanation, people will think less of me. Some feel a great pressure to avoid any kind of argument, so they try to answer every question before it brings a problem. This creates a feeling of being watched all the time. You start to sense that others are judging every move. Even if nobody says anything, you think others are waiting for a reason, and you feel your actions are never truly your own. This makes it hard to relax or enjoy moments. You may even avoid some activities just to escape questions. This is not a small matter. Over days, weeks, and years, the habit of always explaining yourself can make you tired. It can drain your strength. Instead of feeling confident, you start to feel weak and uncertain. You might say to yourself, I do not want to make the wrong choice. I want people to see I am good, capable, or smart. You may begin to doubt yourself because you are placing your trust in how others see you, not in what you know is right. The cost shows itself in your mood. You feel anxious more often. Your mind keeps working even when your body tries to rest. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You replay old talks in your head. You wonder, did I give enough reasons? Did I explain it well? You may lie in bed at night thinking about what you could have said. Days pass, but peace does not come. For example, at work, you may worry that colleagues or managers will ask you to explain every choice. You spend time writing long emails or reports. You check your words many times before sending a message, thinking someone might question something. You try to be ready for any misunderstanding. This can slow down your progress and reduce your joy in what you do. In your family, you might find yourself explaining why you do your chores a certain way, why you eat at a certain time, or why you want to rest instead of joining a group activity. Even at home, you start to feel you must earn the right to make decisions because you need everyone to understand and agree. Among friends, it happens too. If you need to say no to something, you feel a strong need to give many reasons. You fear that a simple no or I cannot will sound unfriendly or cold. So you talk and talk, hoping your friends will not get upset. But this does not always bring comfort. Sometimes the more you explain, the worse you feel inside. This habit also shapes your view of yourself. When most of your time is spent thinking about what others expect from you, you pay less attention to your own needs and wishes. You start to listen more to other people than to your own heart. You look for approval before you feel safe making choices. Your inner voice becomes quiet, and other voices get louder. Trying to explain yourself all the time can harm your self-respect. You may begin to feel smaller, as if your choices have no value unless someone else agrees. You can forget what matters most to you because you are busy chasing the opinions of others. Each time you change your answer or add more reasons, you give away a piece of your power. This does not make you stronger. It removes your confidence little by little. People who do this a lot often find that no amount of explaining is enough. No matter how many words they use or how many reasons they give, there is always room for more questions, more doubts, and more misunderstandings. Sometimes, even after answering everything, they feel empty or upset. The main reason is that the real need, feeling understood, accepted, and respected, cannot be filled by endless explanations. The result is frustration. You might feel angry at yourself for not being able to say simply what you wanted. You may feel sad when people do not seem to listen or care about your reasons. You get tired when, after all your effort, nothing really changes. The conversations repeat. The worry returns. The weight stays on your shoulders. This cycle also hurts your productivity. Your best work needs space and focus. When your mind is always busy with permission, approval, and potential criticism, you cannot give your full energy to what you love or what you want to build. Some people stop taking risks or trying new things because they fear all the explaining that will come if things do not work out. This can make creative people less creative. It can slow down workers, students, or anyone who wants to reach a goal. Instead of thinking about solutions and ideas, you use your mind to guess what others might say about each step. The space for growth becomes smaller. Another harsh result is that you start to fear making mistakes. Every choice feels important because you worry about having to explain it later. You may try to do only what is safe or follow what the group does, so you are not left out or blamed. New paths look dangerous, not because they are, but because the cost of justifying mistakes feels too high. Trying to please everyone by giving so many explanations is impossible. People have different ideas, different views, and different needs. Even if you give perfect reasons, someone may still disagree. You are not in control of their thoughts or feelings, but always explaining can make you forget this. You think you can change everyone's mind if only you say it well. The truth is, this is not how life works. You might notice that you start to feel lonely, even when surrounded by others. This can happen when you spend more time explaining yourself than truly sharing your thoughts, ideas, and experiences. When every talk turns into a defense, you may lose the chance for honest connection. People begin to see only your answers, not your real self. You start to feel invisible or misunderstood. The search for constant approval becomes tiring and sad. Even if you get it, it only lasts for a short time. Soon there is a new situation, and you feel the need to start all over again. There is never true peace, only small moments of relief. Over time, this weakens your spirit. People also become more sensitive to disagreement. Simple questions feel like attacks. If someone says, "I do not agree," or "Why did you do this?" it can feel very personal. You feel wounded, not because the other person wanted to hurt you, but because your need to be understood is so strong. This can turn small conversations into big battles inside your heart. This habit affects every area of life. In school, it can make learning harder. If you worry about every answer, you may feel scared to speak up. In jobs, it can limit what you try. You may play it safe and miss out on new roles because you do not want to face questions. In families, it can lead to arguments or distance as people get tired of endless explanations. It is important to see that the real harm does not come from other people. The real harm comes from inside, from the constant fear of being misunderstood or not accepted. You start to build walls around yourself, hoping to protect your heart, but the walls only keep you from growing and connecting. Some people reach a point where they feel deeply sad or empty. They may feel tired no matter how much they rest. Old joys become less bright. The laughter fades, replaced by worry and self-doubt. Self-respect weakens. Sometimes, This can even lead to feeling depressed or disconnected from life. The pattern of always explaining destroys the freedom to live for yourself. Every day becomes a test. Every choice is a risk. Instead of moving forward with hope and courage, you move carefully, watching every step, because you fear having to defend it later. What happens to trust in yourself? It fades. You begin to think you cannot be right about anything until others say so. You question your ideas and dreams. You may even let them go, just to avoid the pain of explaining when things go wrong. Over time, your real voice is hidden. You stop listening to your own wisdom and rely on others to tell you what to do. This endless search for approval also has effects on your health. Stress can build up. You may get headaches, stomach pain, or not sleep well at night. Your body feels the tension that your mind and emotions are carrying. You may eat more or less than you need. Your body tries to warn you that something is out of balance. Living in this way is not fair to yourself. You give more than you receive. You become a stranger to your own wishes, always focused on how to meet the needs of others. The cost is high, and for many people, it lasts for years, sometimes for a whole life. The truth is, no one can find strength or happiness by always needing to explain themselves. The need for respect, understanding, and acceptance is natural, but the path of endless justification will never lead there. The more you chase after approval with explanations, the further away true confidence and peace become. There is a better way. It begins by seeing the cost of this old habit. When you notice how tired it makes you and how it changes your days, you begin to look for something else. You look for a way to build respect and peace, not by words alone, but by your own actions and calm strength. Letting go of the need to always explain is not easy at first. People around you may still expect it. They might be surprised when you are quiet, or when you simply let your choices show your truth. But with time, you will notice a change. Each time you choose your own path, you gain a bit more strength. Each time you save your words for what really matters, you feel lighter. As you learn this new way, you start to see that real respect comes when you trust yourself and show it through your actions, not when you try to control every opinion with explanations. People begin to notice your calm way. They see that you mean what you say and do what you promise. Their respect grows, not because you answered every question, but because your actions show who you are. This is the simple truth. Constant explanations only make life harder. True confidence and respect come from living honestly, focusing on your path, and letting your work and choices speak for you. As you move away from old habits, you open space for real growth, lasting confidence, and deeper connection with others. The cost of always explaining is high, but the reward for letting go is much higher. Respect is something almost everyone wants. It feels good to know that people value you, pay attention to you, and trust your words or actions. Many people believe that if they keep explaining everything they do, they will earn more respect from the people around them. This idea is very common. People think that by giving long reasons or saying yes to every question, others will like them more, agree with them, or see them as honest and open. But real respect does not work this way. Respect is not given because of how many words you use. Respect is not the same as agreement. You can explain yourself for a long time, and people might still not respect you. They might not even listen after a while. Respect comes from what you do, how you act, and what you show with your choices over time. People often try to earn respect by arguing for their own point of view. When someone doubts them, they rush to give many reasons. They might even start explaining before anyone asks. They worry if everyone has understood their point and believe that if they do not convince others, respect will be lost. But when you look honestly, you see that most people do not feel more respect for someone just because that person explains a lot. Many times long explanations can make a person seem less confident, not more. When you explain yourself over and over, Others sometimes feel that you do not trust your own decisions. They start to question if you are sure about what you are doing. Instead of seeing you as strong, they may feel that you want their approval too much. This can create the opposite effect of what you want. Instead of giving you more respect, people may pay less attention to your words. They may begin to think that your value depends on their opinion, and that you might change your choices just to please them. Real respect builds slowly. It is like a plant that grows every day, a little at a time, because of steady care. People in your life notice the way you act, the way you keep your word, and the focus you bring to your work. They see if you are patient, honest, and calm when things get hard. These actions are much more important than any speech or explanation. You may meet some people who use a lot of words to try to impress or convince. But over time, others see who is reliable, who delivers on promises, and who truly cares about what they do. Words can be forgotten quickly. Actions leave a stronger mark. Think about someone you respect in your own life. It may be a family member, a teacher, a coach, or a friend. Try to remember the things that made you respect them. Most of the time, it is not because they explained everything or won every argument. Instead, they acted with calm, they were fair, they did what they said, and they stayed steady when others doubted them. You trusted their actions. You believed them because you saw how they lived, not because they explained every reason for each decision. Respect does not depend on everyone agreeing with you all the time. If you try to please every person or hope for agreement with every word, you will be busy forever. People have different opinions and thoughts. What brings real respect is the ability to stay strong in your own values and to act with focus and honesty even when others do not agree. When people see that you do not argue just to prove yourself, when you do not get angry if someone doubts you, or when you do not quickly try to change their minds, they start to see calm strength. They feel that you are not chasing respect. You already have it within you. This quiet confidence is easy to notice and has more power than trying to win every argument. In everyday life, people start to believe the person who does what they promise. They watch when you show up on time, keep your responsibilities, and handle problems with care. You do not need to tell everyone how hard you worked or why you chose a certain way. Your effort becomes visible over time, and people remember results, not endless explanations. You might worry that if you stop explaining, people will think you are cold or uncaring. But the truth is, when you are calm and focused, when you stay kind and steady, respect grows naturally. People feel safer around someone who can handle emotions, choices, and challenges with peace. They see your maturity and respect follows. There are people who do not explain much, but everyone listens when they speak. Why does this happen? It is because their actions are clear, their behavior is peaceful, and they only speak when they have something important to say. They do not waste words. When they talk, people pay attention because they know this person values truth and does not speak only to argue or defend. Trying to win respect with words often turns into long debates. Some people believe that if they only say just the right words, use the perfect reason, or argue long enough, minds will change. But in reality, people are usually more moved by what they see than by what they hear. If you lose your calm, or if you show that you are very worried about what others think, respect does not grow. You start to look like you doubt yourself. If you are always trying to prove your choices are right, others might feel you are not sure or that you need to ask for their agreement. This can make you look less certain. Over time, you will notice that people trust those who act more than those who explain. They watch how you deal with problems without drama. They notice how you treat others. They remember what you do when life is difficult, not what you say. A person who is always giving explanations may think this is the same as being transparent or honest, but true honesty is shown by actions, not by a flood of reasons. People feel more respect for someone who sticks with their path and does not let every doubt change their steps. They do not feel the need to control every opinion around them. It is easy to think, if I only explain enough, everyone will accept or like me. But true respect is not based on making everyone agree. It is built when you accept that others will have their own views, and you keep doing your part with care. When mistakes happen, you can admit them with simple honesty, not with long stories or excuses. Your best moments, in work or family or with friends, often come when you focus on what you do, not what you say. In quiet times, people watch. They see how you react to success or failure. They remember if you keep your promises, respect others, and stand by your values, even if no one is checking. Actions that come from strong values become a lesson for others, and this is the deepest kind of respect. Some people worry that if they talk less, others will forget about them or misunderstand. But people remember the actions that touch their lives. If you help, if you give your best, if you listen when someone needs you, if you bring peace to hard moments, these things stay in the memory much longer than arguments about who is right or wrong. Over time, trying to explain everything can make you tired and uncertain. It can waste your energy. But when you learn that your actions are the real voice of your character, you use your effort in a better way. You build results, not just debates. You show instead of tell. People sometimes feel afraid of silence after being questioned. They feel that if they do not answer, if they do not defend themselves, there will be trouble. But silence does not mean you are guilty, wrong, or careless. Sometimes, silence shows confidence. Silence can let others think about what you did instead of just hearing many words. They can see your results and make their own opinion. If someone argues with you and you listen with respect, but do not try to change their mind, it can be surprising for them. They see that you trust yourself. You are not restless or trying to make everyone agree. This leads to more respect because people see that you know your own value and you do not let every doubt shake you. It is important to remember that not every question needs an answer. Not every doubt needs a detailed explanation. Sometimes it is enough to continue your work, stay polite, and let your attitude speak. In the end, your time is better spent on doing true things, helping others, and building your path instead of using energy on endless words. When you live like this, you notice changes around you. People ask fewer questions about your choices. They come to you for advice because they notice your experience. They trust your word because they have seen your actions. They understand you will not argue for every small reason, and this gives them peace too. You set an example. Respect does not only come from what you do in big moments. It also comes from what you do every day, in simple ways. How you treat people, how you handle small problems, if you are thankful, if you stand by your principles, these things are worth more than any speech. They grow trust, which is the strongest base for respect. It is also true that some days, even if you do your best, some people will still not agree with you or praise you. This is normal. Their respect is not always something you can control. Your job is to keep your actions true, your words simple, and your heart focused on what matters to you. Letting go of the need to explain every action feels difficult at first. You may feel afraid that people will pull away or judge you. But soon, you see that people start to trust you more, not less. They feel your certainty. They know you are not asking for approval each time. They see you value your own work and your own life. True respect is quiet. It comes when you have faith in yourself. You do not chase after praise, so people notice you more. You do not shout your reasons, so people take your words more seriously. You act with care, and you treat others with patience. You keep building, even when no one is watching. Over time, you become a person that people listen to, even in silence. If you continue to act with honesty, patience, and dedication, your life becomes more peaceful. You keep respect for yourself, which is the most important kind of respect. You also earn trust from people around you because you are not easily shaken by doubts or criticism. You stay on your path and build stronger, real confidence from your actions. As you make this change, you will find that calm actions can speak for you in all parts of life. People learn to trust what they see instead of what they hear. They remember what you do, and your reputation grows. You do not need to answer every doubt. When you focus on action, not argument, both respect and peace become possible. When you understand that actions are more meaningful than words, everything begins to change. You start to see the value in calm actions, in quiet progress, and in steady work. This way of living can transform how people see you and how you feel about yourself. Instead of feeling stressed by the need to talk, defend, or prove, you let your results speak for you. Other people watch you, even when they do not say it out loud. They see how you handle tasks, how you treat others, and how you continue in your path, even when things are not easy. This is where the real power comes from, and where respect grows most strongly. Every day gives you chances to use calm actions. When you face a problem or a question, you do not always need to start with explanations. You can pause, think, and focus on what step to take next. You choose your response, not out of fear, but out of clarity. The way you handle these moments tells people much more about you than any speech ever can. When you fix your mind on the real task and do not allow yourself to become lost in debates or arguments, it is easy for others to notice your dedication and strength. Calm actions are not loud. They do not need to attract attention. They are simple, clear, and repeated over time. You come to work or school every day. You do what you promise to do. You help people when you can. When a mistake is made, you correct it quietly. Your progress is slow sometimes, but it is always moving forward. People watch this kind of steadiness and begin to trust that you mean what you say. They stop waiting for you to explain yourself because your actions are clear and consistent. When others see you act in a calm way, they feel less nervous around you. If someone shouts or if emotions get high, your steady response brings peace to the group or the room. People are not afraid because they know you will not make things worse by fighting or blaming. This type of strength is easy to notice and hard to find. Over time, you become a person that many people count on, even if you do not say much. Quiet progress is a strong message. If you set a goal and work for it every day, others begin to respect you and believe in your power. Even if you fail, even if your path has many stops or problems, your habit of trying and your promise to do better next time are things that everyone can see. Without giving reasons for every step, you show that you are serious about your choices. It is not just one big action, many small steps, taken with calm and care, leave the deepest mark. Many people are afraid to act without talking first because they worry about being misunderstood. But calm action often answers questions before they are even asked. If you say you will help and then you help, there is no reason left for doubt. If you agree to learn a new skill and keep practicing, everyone will see you grow. If you make a mistake but fix it, people remember your honesty and discipline more than any excuse you could give. There is also great value in being calm when other people show doubt, anger, or confusion. When people do not understand your way, or if they try to push you off your path, staying steady is a powerful answer. You do not have to argue or try to change their minds with many words. You only need to keep moving forward in your work. This quiet strength is noticed, even if not everyone says so. Think about a person you have seen stay calm in a hard situation. Maybe it was someone who fixed a problem slowly after a mistake. Maybe it was a friend who kept working even while others complained. Maybe it was a teacher or boss who did not get upset when things went wrong, but instead focused on finding a solution. These people are remembered because of what they did, not because of what they said during difficult times. Steady effort is easy for everyone to see, no matter their age or experience. Children look up to adults who finish what they start, not to people who talk and never act. In a workplace, the people who keep the team moving forward, even on slow days, are valued most. In families, the person who helps, shows up, and listens quietly brings peace to everyone. When you deal with criticism, calm action has special power. If someone tries to argue with you, or if you are doubted for your decisions, you do not have to rush to defend yourself. Instead, you can pause, let the words pass, and keep working. In time, your steady results make more difference than any debate or defense. Others see that you do not react to every small problem. You do not let your mood swing because of outside pressure. This control is a sign of real confidence. It is not always easy at first to act with calmness when people expect explanations. You might feel uncomfortable and worry that you are not doing enough. But as you practice focusing on actions, staying calm, and speaking only when needed, a new sense of freedom grows. You see that you save energy that you used to spend on worries. Your mind is clearer because your words are fewer and your steps are stronger. People can see real value in your actions because your results are there for all to see. If you study every day for a test, your grades will show the truth. If you work at a project and finish it, everyone knows you did what you set out to do. If you keep small promises and repair your mistakes without blame, people start to feel safe around you. There is no need to explain each success. Results do the talking. When you do your work with dedication and do not brag or show off, people feel comfortable around you. They know that you will not make others feel small by using big words or showing off your actions. You build trust, and trust cannot be hurried by explanations. Trust grows quietly when actions are repeated day after day, even if no one says thank you or gives praise. In teams, families, or groups of friends, the person who does what they say and is calm during change is respected by all. People start to copy this attitude. Children learn to solve problems without shouting. Adults notice that arguments become smaller or disappear when calm people are present. Small actions have big results in this way. Staying on your own path is important when you want your actions to speak clearly. Sometimes others will try to make you upset or challenge your choices because they want you to join their arguments. If you rise to every test or get pulled into every conversation, your energy and focus begin to fade. When you say no sometimes, not with anger but with calm, you protect your space and save your best effort for what really matters. A person who is calm in their actions can also help others to feel more peaceful. If a friend is worried about a problem, you do not have to give long advice. Sometimes, just sitting nearby, being present, and listening with care helps more than any words. Your example shows that there is always a way through, as long as you keep moving one step after the other. When mistakes happen, your calm response can show maturity. If you make a mistake at work and point it out yourself, then work on a solution, others respect you more. They notice that you do not hide or blame, but take action. If someone points out a problem in your life, you thank them and then focus on the next step. You do not become upset or give excuses. People trust someone who is honest and can stay calm during trouble. Sometimes in the middle of busy days, you will see others become tired of talking. They might start arguments, lose their patience, or blame others. In this environment, your quiet work, your patient steps, and your respect for others make you stand out. People notice who keeps their dignity, even when things are not easy. Over many days and weeks, your way of working and being becomes a model for others. It is also true that not everyone will understand or praise your actions right away. Some may still question or not notice the value in your calm ways at first. It does not matter. What matters is that you build your own trust by doing what is right, not by searching for quick approval. You keep your heart clear by staying focused and honest, not by winning every discussion. In a world where many are looking for attention by talking more and more, the The quiet person often makes the biggest impression. You do not have to compete for the spotlight. Instead, you use your time to become skillful in your work, patient in your friendships, and peaceful in your choices. Over time, the right people see you. They come to you for help, and they give respect freely. Your calm actions also give safety to yourself. If you are always pulled by the moods and opinions of others, life feels like being lost. But when you stay steady, no matter what happens around you, you notice you are in charge of your own direction. You can say yes or no, accept or reject, grow or rest, all without needing someone's agreement first. This strength is quiet, but it is powerful. Each time you make a choice and follow through, your confidence grows. Each time you stay calm when others become upset, you build a foundation for your mind and your heart. Over time, you need less approval because your sense of self becomes stronger and less shaky. There are many moments when staying calm is a challenge. You might hear people judging you. You may see someone getting rewards for talking loudly. You may even feel jealous of people who are noticed quickly. But these feelings change with time. When you see your own results, when you build and rebuild trust, first in yourself and then from others, you learn to respect this simple way. Being dependable is another reward of calm actions. You become someone others can count on, not because you say you are reliable, but because you always show up and help. You become the friend that keeps secrets and gives care. You become the worker who does not miss deadlines. You become the child who helps at home quietly, without needing to remind others of your effort. People may not thank you every day. They may not notice every good thing you do. But inside, you begin to feel the peace of knowing you are doing what is right. You are not trying to impress. You are not fighting for approval. You save energy for your work and the people who matter most. Sometimes others will ask you why you do not react or explain more. Their questions are a sign that your actions are being noticed. These moments are chances to keep your calm, not to fall back into the habit of defending every choice. You may answer with only a few words or simply smile and go on with your work. Finding the balance between talking and acting gets easier as you practice. You start to pick the moments where words will help and you know when they are not needed. You listen to others more because you are not always preparing your own defense. You feel more relaxed in conversations and less pressured to be perfect. As others see your calm attitude, they may begin to act more calmly too. This helps in work groups, in families, in friendships, and even in places where there is often stress. Your way becomes a small example that can help make an entire group more peaceful and successful. Quiet progress, patience, and calm are gifts you give first to yourself, but they also change the world near you. You find that people come to you not for your loud words, but for your solid example. They learn to trust that what you say is true, because you have already shown it with your actions many times. When you live this way, your results build up, and your reputation grows without effort. People start using your name when they talk about trust, honesty, and quiet power. The more you act with calmness and discipline, the less you need to worry about what others think or say. Respect follows action, and peace follows respect. Every small step, every calm answer, and every task finished with care adds to your strength. Day by day, you change from someone who is always tired from talking to someone with quiet certainty. You see proof of your own value, and you do not need to search for it anywhere else. This is how calm actions create lasting respect, trust, and confidence for anyone who chooses this path. The more your actions become calm and clear, the more you begin to notice the parts of your life where you seek approval from others. You may see how often you look for a smile, a nod, or kind words after you do something. This search for approval feels normal because almost everyone wants to be liked and accepted. But running after approval can become a problem. When you chase approval, you give away your own power and confidence. You start to build your life around what others think, not around what you truly need or believe. Sometimes the wish for approval is easy to see. For example, you may want someone to say you did a good job at work or school. You wait for your family or friends to say you made the right choice, or you hope your boss will notice your extra effort. Maybe you share something online and wait for messages that say you look nice or did something great. This makes you feel good for a short while, but the feeling does not last. Soon you want more approval, and you try even harder to get it. In other moments, the search for approval is quiet but strong. You do not say it out loud, but you feel worried inside when people do not notice your effort. You may get upset when someone criticizes you or does not agree with your opinion. You look for ways to fix what they think of you. When you do something new, you think about what others might say long before you think about how you feel. Over time, this habit becomes automatic. Each day, you act, speak, and choose with the hope that others will approve. You ask many questions in your head. Will they like this? Am I being normal? What if people think I am strange? Instead of following your own path, you watch the faces and listen to the words of others. You plan your next move by what you think will win their praise and keep them happy. The problem is that living for approval rarely works for long. People's opinions change every day. What one person likes, another may dislike. Sometimes you may do your best, but still not get the approval you want. If you base your value on the words and looks of others, you will always need more. The search for approval becomes a trap that is hard to leave. Chasing approval also changes how you see yourself. You might stop trusting your own ideas because you wait to see what others say first. If someone does not agree, you begin to doubt your choices. You may even change your mind just to avoid disagreement or to stay in someone's good favor. When you do this again and again, it becomes hard to know what your real opinions are. You begin to wonder, what do I really want? Sometimes you forget your likes, your hopes, and your dreams. For many people, the need for approval goes so deep that it shapes every part of life. It is there when you decide what clothes to wear, what foods to eat, what hobbies to enjoy, and how to talk to others. Often, people try to blend in or stay quiet about things they love, just so nobody will judge or dislike them. Even happiness starts to depend on how others react. If you receive praise, you feel good. If you get no answer, or if someone criticizes you, you feel sad or anxious. This way of living is very tiring. It makes daily life heavy. You spend a lot of time thinking, did I do it right? Or will they be pleased? Each choice feels big because you imagine what everyone will say. You want to be perfect, but this is impossible. Pleasing everyone can never happen, no matter how hard you try. As you look back, you might notice moments when you acted based on other people's wishes. Maybe you joined in a group activity that you did not enjoy, just to fit in. Maybe you stayed quiet during a discussion, even if you wanted to share your real thoughts. Perhaps you picked a job, hobby, or style just because it was popular, not because you liked it. Each time you do this, a small piece of your self-worth is given away. Over many days, months, or years, the habit of seeking approval grows. You feel more and more pressure to get things right. You notice small signals from others, a look, a word, or silence, and immediately start to worry. You wonder if you have failed in some way or lost someone's respect. You become sensitive to every opinion, even the ones that do not matter. Many times the search for approval leads to over-explaining. You want to show others there is nothing wrong with your actions, so you give many reasons, hoping they will agree. You say much more than needed, thinking that with enough words, everyone will finally accept you or like your choices. But this does not give you more control. In truth, it makes other people sense that your confidence is weak. They may feel that you are not secure or that you are trying too hard. This can invite more questions and doubts. When you give the approval to decide your worth to other people, your energy begins to run out. You feel weak, because you are never sure if you have done enough. If someone changes their mind or gives negative feedback, your mood falls. You might spend hours thinking and rethinking what happened instead of moving forward. You lose time and joy because you are always worried about what others feel. Some people become so used to this habit that they cannot remember another way to live. Every new step in life feels risky. You may avoid saying no because you fear someone will be upset. You take on more work or more favors than you want, just to be liked. You agree to things quickly, only to regret them later. Every time you put someone else's wishes before your own, your life gets smaller. A big danger is losing your real voice. When you always do what others expect, you might forget how to stand for your own ideas or needs. You become afraid of showing your true self. You may hide your feelings and hopes just to fit in. It becomes hard to say no or set limits because you fear rejection. This hurts your self-respect and your courage. The constant need for approval also makes mistakes seem like disasters. If something does not go right, or if others are unhappy, you may believe it means you have failed. You may judge yourself harshly, even for small errors. You want to go back and fix everything so that others never see you in a bad light. You watch for criticism and feel anxious in situations where you might not get full support. This is not a healthy way to live. The world can never give you perfect approval all the time. People change. Even those who love you will not always praise what you do. If you wait for everyone to say, "Well done," before you feel good, you will wait forever. Your peace, strength, and success must come from inside, not from the outside world. Letting go of this trap is not simple. Many habits were learned in childhood. Maybe adults told you that being liked was always the most important thing. Maybe you watched others chasing approval and thought it was normal. But you can choose a better way. You can learn to find your value in your actions and your truth, even if that means not everyone will agree with you or notice your effort. The first step is to notice when you are seeking approval. Start paying attention to your thoughts before you act or speak. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I want someone else to like it? If you find that you are living only to please others, stop for a moment and ask how it makes you feel. Is it making you stronger or weaker? Does it bring you peace, or does it make you worried all the time? The next step is to remember your own reasons for acting. Your actions are important, not because someone approves, but because you know why you chose them. You start to trust that you have good reasons, even if others do not understand or agree. With practice, this trust grows. It will help you feel safe saying no sometimes, or trying things you like, even if they are not popular. Another way to leave this trap is to spend more time acting than talking. When you do something, do it with care and finish it well. Focus on the results. If you make a mistake, fix it and move on, instead of spending too much time trying to make others happy. You do not have to explain every step. Over time, others will notice that you are reliable and confident, even if you do not try to win their approval all the time. Setting boundaries is also necessary. Every person has a right to their own limits. It is healthy to know when to say yes and when to say no. You can be kind, gentle, and helpful, but you do not need to say yes to every request or agree with every opinion. When you set limits, people will respect you for knowing your needs. At first, they may test you, but they will soon realize you are true to yourself. Listening to yourself again is a gift you can choose. Take quiet moments each day to ask, what do I truly want? What makes me happy? This helps you remember your voice and your dreams. When you listen to yourself, you will see which choices are for others and which are for you. It may feel odd at first, but it gets easier with practice. It is also helpful to remind yourself that not everyone's opinion is important. Choose whose ideas you respect and focus on these. Most people you meet will not know your story or your values. It is normal that they do not always understand or accept your actions. You do not have to open your heart to everyone. It is safe to protect your mind and your feelings. Forgiving yourself for wanting approval is important too. This is a habit that almost everyone has because we all want connection and kindness. It is normal to wish for friendship, for smiles, and for kind words. The problem only comes when you cannot act or feel good unless you receive these things. You can learn to enjoy approval when it comes, but not to depend on it for your happiness. You are responsible for your own choices. Other people can choose to like them or not. You do not control this, and that is fine. As you stop chasing approval, you will find you have more time, more energy, and more space for what matters most to you. You will see that your actions grow stronger. People around you may even begin to respect you more, because you do not live from a place of need. Over time, your voice becomes louder and clearer inside. You begin to trust yourself. The small fear of being disliked becomes weaker. You learn that sometimes disagreement is not a sign of failure. It means you are free and are choosing your own way. You spend less time trying to be perfect and more time living as you truly are. Your relationships will also improve. When you stop needing approval all the time, you talk more honestly. You are open about your thoughts and hopes, but you do not wait for everyone to agree before you take action. People trust those who are real. They feel safer with those who are not always trying to please everyone. You attract people who like your true self, not just your agreeable side. Life feels lighter without the constant search for approval. You become stronger in your beliefs, but you can also listen and change with respect, not fear. You look at mistakes as a chance to learn, not as proof you are failing. If you receive criticism, you thank people when it helps, and you let go what does not matter. You stop giving power to every comment or opinion. None of this means you stop caring about others or do not listen to advice. Seeking wisdom and learning from people you trust makes you better. But the difference is, you are not ruled by the need to please all. You stay open to growth but keep your own center strong and calm. When you do things for your own reasons and with your own values, approval from others is a bonus, not your goal. Sometimes you will get it, and sometimes you will not. Either way, your life moves forward. You feel more peace, more confidence, and more freedom to act on your own terms. The most important change is in your own heart. You begin to see your own worth. You respect your journey. You know that not everyone will applaud, but that does not take away your value. This quiet trust is powerful. People feel it when they are around you, and it brings a new kind of respect that is deeper and more lasting. Your days become simpler. You give your energy to your work, your dreams, and the people who truly care. You have room for joy and growth. You understand that being yourself is enough, and you no longer need to fight for approval that comes and goes. This is how leaving the trap of approval makes you stronger, calmer, and truly free. When you finally give yourself permission to be free from the need for approval, you start to notice something else. Not every comment or question from others needs a reaction. You begin to see that silence can say much more than words. Each day, you may get questions, opinions, and even doubts from people around you. Sometimes you hear advice from family, remarks from friends, comments from co-workers, or even opinions from strangers. These voices try to pull your attention and your energy. They invite you to explain yourself or to defend every step you take. But you do not have to respond to everything. This is a very important lesson. Many people have never learned that it is normal and healthy to choose when to answer and when to say nothing. You may feel at first that staying quiet is rude or cold. You might worry that others will think you have no answer or are hiding something. But silence is not the same as disrespect. Silence can be a sign of strength, respect for yourself, and belief in your own actions. It is helpful to remember that everyone has their own opinion about life. No matter what you do, you will meet people who judge, question, or even criticize you. Some people do this out of care, others out of habit, and some because they want to test your limits. These moments are part of every person's life. The difference is how you choose to react. You can spend your energy explaining all your reasons, or you can save your energy for what truly matters. You may notice that silence is uncomfortable at first. When someone asks a difficult question, your first feeling might be worry. You want to be clear, so you start searching for words. You might rush to give an answer that is not needed. This comes from old habits, the habit of pleasing or defending. But when you give yourself a few seconds to breathe, you see that not every question is important. Not every person has a right to know your reasons. Sometimes, the best answer is simply to continue with your work or actions. If someone does not understand why you do something, but you know your reasons, you do not have to give a speech. You can allow your progress to show your truth. Your actions tell a story that is clear for everyone who wants to pay attention. When you are calm and quiet, you protect your time, heart, and mind. This new way of choosing when to respond may feel very strange. At first, you may even feel guilty for not giving an answer, but this feeling starts to fade with practice. You realize that other people are not always thinking about your silence as much as you think. In fact, most people quickly move on to their own worries. Silence gives you time, space, and energy to focus on what matters most. One way to know when to answer and when not to answer is to ask yourself a simple question. Will this conversation make my life better or help my goals? If the answer is no, then your silence is the best choice. You do not have to fight to prove a small point. You do not have to share every feeling you have. Some things are better kept quiet, for your own peace. When people learn that you will not react to every question or comment, they also change their behavior. They learn to respect your space. They see that you do not get pulled easily into drama, arguments, or gossip. They see you have control over your reactions. Over time, people learn to come to you with more serious matters, and they give you more respect. Silence is especially strong when you face criticism or doubt. If you know what you are doing, and you know your actions are honest and good, you do not need to argue. Others may try to make you upset or pull you into a fight. If you answer with calm or stay quiet, you show real confidence. Your peace teaches others that strength is not in shouting or proving, but in trusting your own path. Sometimes being silent is a way to show respect for yourself and others. If someone is angry, your silence can be a wall that stops things from getting worse. If you are hurt or confused, your silence gives you a chance to think before reacting. It protects you from saying something you might regret. Listening to others without always jumping in with an answer is also a sign of maturity. You may notice that some people will be surprised when you begin to choose silence. They may ask again or push harder for a response. At these times, it is important to remain steady. You can give a small answer if needed, such as, "Thank you for your opinion," or "I will think about what you said." There is no need to say more. These small words show that you respect the other person, but that your energy belongs to you. There are also times when silence is the strongest tool you have. If someone spreads rumors, tries to pull you into a useless debate, or wants to argue over things that do not build anything good, you can step away with gentle silence. This does not make you weak. It means you choose to value peace over empty talk. People will begin to see you as someone who does not give in to every little argument. Your reputation becomes stronger. You will find that silence lets you listen more. You hear better when you are not always preparing an answer or planning your defense. You can see other people's motives more clearly. Sometimes people just want attention or want to show their own knowledge. Their questions or criticism are not about you, but about their own feelings. When you listen in silence, you learn more about others, and you stop taking things so personally. Learning the habit of silence takes practice. Start small. The next time someone asks you something that does not need an answer, allow yourself to smile and remain quiet. When you receive feedback that is not helpful, say "thank you" and then stay silent. Notice how you feel. With each quiet choice, you begin to see that your world does not fall apart if you are not explaining everything. You also find that people who once asked many questions become quieter too. Without your explanations, some conversations end faster. You spend less time repeating yourself or feeling empty after long talks. Your days become more peaceful, and your respect for yourself grows. Others become curious about your calmness and may start to copy your way of handling problems. Another time when silence is strong is when you are waiting for results to show. If you know you are working hard and doing your best, you do not have to tell others all the time. Your results will speak when the work is done. If someone doubts you in the middle of your work, stay calm and keep going. Time will show the truth better than words ever can. If you hear things that hurt you or are not fair, silence gives you a way to handle pain without making things worse. You can give yourself a moment to feel, to think, and then to choose what to do next. This protects your heart from being open to every comment. You become stronger and less likely to be hurt by small words or careless talk. In some situations, you may be expected to explain but know deep inside that speaking will not help. When you are in a group, or when many people have strong opinions, silence stops things from growing out of control. You let others finish their stories while keeping your peace. People are sometimes surprised by the strength in this choice. It is easy to see who is really focused on what matters and who is just looking to argue or get attention. Children also learn from this example. When you do not react to every little fight or loud word, you teach them that patience, calm, and silence can solve problems. They learn to think before they speak. Your example helps others grow, just as you are growing. Being able to choose when to answer is not the same as ignoring all people. Sometimes answering with kindness and honesty is the best way. Silence is a tool, not a rule. You can use it when needed, and you can speak when your words bring help, hope, or truth. The important thing is that you choose when to give your words, not because of pressure, but because of your wisdom. If you often feel the pressure to respond, remind yourself that your life is yours. No one knows your full story, your goals, or your dreams. Other people only see a small part of who you are. Their questions or doubts are not always about you. Many times, they are about their own fears, hopes, or needs. This knowledge frees you from the feeling that you owe them an answer each time. In friendships and family, you can build more trust by knowing when to speak and when to listen. When a loved one shares something important, you listen carefully. When they need advice or comfort, your words have more power because you have chosen them with care. Silence between friends can be peaceful and safe, not awkward or cold. It shows respect. At work or school, learning to use silence helps you stay productive. You do not have to join every discussion or join every disagreement. You do not have to defend every small decision. When you focus on your tasks, finish your work, and help others in action, people notice your dependability. Your silence protects your focus and keeps you steady. There will also be times when you want to speak. It is healthy to share your thoughts, stand up for what is right, or defend someone from injustice. Silence is not about hiding or being passive. It is about choosing where your energy and words go. Speaking with purpose has impact. Silence by choice brings peace and saves you from regret. It is important to trust your instincts. When you sense that speaking will help, you give your words. When you sense that talking will only lead to more confusion or arguments, you stay silent. The power is in your hands. This makes you feel safe, mature, and ready for anything. Learning to use silence changes your mind too. You stop worrying so much about being misunderstood. You know that you cannot control what others think. Your job is to live by your truth, share when needed, and let go when the time for words has passed. This gives a calm feeling that grows stronger every day. As you choose silence more often, you notice your reaction to criticism changes. Where you once felt pain or anger at every small hurt, you now let words pass by without them touching your heart. You understand you do not have to fix every misunderstanding or clear up every doubt. Your actions, steady and honest, will always show more about you than any argument. Being silent also helps you see when a situation is not healthy for you. If someone is always negative or always trying to bring you down, silence protects your feelings. You may choose to spend less time with people who do not support your growth. This too is a sign of self-respect and calm power. You can still be loving, friendly, and warm without giving every answer. You build stronger relationships because people know you mean it when you do speak. They listen more, value your ideas, and respect your limits. You become safe and steady for those around you. Remember, silence does not erase challenges or stop people from questioning you, but it gives you a safe space to think, to feel, and then to act in the way that is best for you. You can handle any situation with calm, whether it is easy or hard. You become more flexible, more peaceful, and more sure of your way. Every day offers chances to practice this skill. You choose what to give your words to and what to leave in silence. People will learn from your example that strength is quiet, respect is patient, and confidence does not need to prove itself at every turn. Your life soon feels less noisy, your mind clearer, and your sense of self much stronger. The world is filled with voices, but yours does not have to be the loudest. You make the biggest difference by knowing when to stay quiet and when to speak up. In this way, silence becomes your friend, protecting your time, your heart, and guiding you forward with gentle strength. All around the world and through all of history, people have looked to others for examples of how to live with calm, strength, and self-respect. You can find stories of people who chose to act with silence, patience, and discipline instead of arguing or always trying to explain themselves. These examples are not only found in books or old times, they are a part of everyday life, everywhere. Learning about the way these people lived can help you see how quiet actions and steady habits build trust and respect. There once lived a leader named Marcus Aurelius many years ago in a country called Rome. He became known not only for his title and power, but for the way he lived each day. Marcus Aurelius faced many hard times. There were wars, sickness, and people who did not always agree with his ideas. Still, he did not waste energy explaining every decision he made. Many times he wrote about how important it is to act with discipline, do your duty, and let the results speak for themselves. When others argued or questioned him, he would listen, then calmly continue his work. Because of his example, the people around him began to notice his steady way. They respected his discipline, not his words. Even today, people read his writings and remember him as a model of calm strength. You do not have to be a king, a president, or a great leader to live in this way. History is filled with people from ordinary lives who made a difference through their quiet actions. Teachers who showed up every day, caring for students even when they did not get praise. Workers who solved problems at their jobs, one step at a time, without asking for extra attention. Parents who raised children with simple care, patience, and strong values. These people often did not argue or explain. They acted. Day after day, they built small acts into habits that changed lives and earned trust. If you look at families, you can see this pattern too. Sometimes a grandparent, mother, or father is remembered, not for giving long speeches, but for always being there, helping, showing respect, and solving problems quietly. Their actions made other people feel safe and cared for. Years later, children and grandchildren talk about the calm way these family members handled trouble. They remember the small things, like a gentle word, a quiet meal after a long day, or a firm decision made with kindness. These memories last much longer than any argument or explanation. In workplaces, history shows the same lesson. It is often the person who keeps working, who helps quietly, who does not argue over every detail, but fixes what is broken, who wins the trust of others. Even when things go wrong, the people who keep calm, act to solve the issue, and do not blame or shout, are the ones others look to for comfort. They become role models, sometimes without even knowing it. Their way of living spreads peace and makes the team stronger. Even in times of great change, there have always been people who let actions lead and let their results show their value. There have been scientists, inventors, and artists who faced criticism and doubts from the people around them. Instead of explaining over and over, they worked, studied, and let their discoveries or art become proof of their effort. When they succeeded, the world noticed, not because of the arguments, but because of the steady work that could not be denied. There are many famous names in history, but the lesson is the same for anyone. Martin Luther King Jr. is remembered for his calm courage and peaceful actions, not only for his powerful speeches. Mother Teresa's strength was seen in her daily help to the poor, without asking for attention or explaining why she cared. Gandhi led many people by living simply, showing honesty in every act, and not arguing with anger. Even when these leaders were questioned many times, they answered with steady actions and kind words. The result was a respect that outlasted their lives. You can find examples in your own life too. Think of someone you know who remains calm in stress, who does not talk just to be noticed, but helps quietly and can be trusted to finish what they promise. Maybe it is a friend who listens more than speaks, a teacher or coach who guides by example, or an elder in your community who acts with fairness. People like this are often remembered long after loud voices are forgotten. All these stories show the same simple truth. Calm actions speak much louder than long explanations. Respect grows when you do not give in to every argument or defend every small thing. People learn to watch you, to trust you, and even to come to you for advice. Your example invites others to become more patient, calmer, and more centered in their own choices. History also teaches that being quiet does not mean staying silent when you see something wrong or unfair. Many strong people used few but important words to defend what was right. Their main power was in their actions, the way they faced challenges by doing what they believed, even when it was not popular. Speaking with purpose and acting with care made their words stronger. Doing this in your own life does not require any special title or skill. It asks for patience, daily effort, and the strength to let your work show your values. You do not have to be perfect. You may make mistakes, face setbacks, or meet people who do not see your value right away. That is normal for everyone. The habit that makes a difference is returning to action, fixing what you can, learning from the past, and moving forward with calm and dignity. Some people worry that acting quietly means other people will never notice them or will misunderstand their intentions. They fear that without long explanations, someone will think badly of them. But the truth is that your value cannot be measured by every single opinion. Over the years, people pay attention to those who keep going, keep trying, and stay gentle even when things are hard. These habits make your value clear to anyone who takes the time to look. It can also be helpful to notice leaders in your community who show this way of living. Maybe there is someone who volunteers time for others, not for praise, but because they care. Maybe a neighbor who helps those in need without speaking about it. Every community, big or small, has these quiet heroes. They do not need attention. They bring hope and strength by doing, not by talking. When you follow this path, you will be tested. There will be people who challenge you, doubt you, or even invite you to argue. You may feel the urge to defend yourself, to explain, or to fight for every point. This is normal, but with practice, you learn to respond differently. You remind yourself that your energy is best given to action. You decide which words to use and which to hold back. Over time, you feel less tired because you do not give away your peace to every opinion. This way of acting can also change the people closest to you. If you are part of a family, your habits start to shape the home. If you are part of a team, your calm way of working helps others to relax and focus. If you lead a group, your silent example guides everyone. Even if you do not have a special job or big role, every small act of patience and dignity makes the world near you better. Children learn from this most of all. They watch the adults around them. If they see parents or teachers handle problems quietly, admit mistakes and fix them, and keep promises, they learn that this is what it means to be strong. They understand that shouting, blaming, or explaining every detail does not lead to confidence. Instead, calm actions bring safety and trust. With time, these lessons last much longer than anything written down or explained. You can also remember stories from your own childhood. Maybe there was someone who smiled at you when you were afraid, or who helped you without making you feel small. Maybe that person is not with you now, but the memory of their actions still brings you comfort when you face hard days. Quiet leadership is not about being silent all the time. It is about being wise with your words and thoughtful with your actions. You do not go through life trying to force people to like you or agree with you. You live by what is true for you, admit when you are wrong, and celebrate others when they do well. You support others gently and let your actions lead. Respect and trust are things that grow over time and cannot be faked. People know when someone is honest, when they truly care, and when they are doing something out of duty or kindness. No one needs to give a speech to prove these things. They become clear in the way you live, how you treat others, and how you keep promises. If you are new to this way of living, history offers comfort. Every year, every century, people from all walks of life have faced stress, doubt, and judgment. Their answer was not to argue, but to act. In moments of trouble, they looked for solutions, helped others, learned, and fixed what could be fixed. The world remembers their example, not their explanations. Allow yourself to find your own inspiration in these stories. You do not have to copy someone else or match their path. The lesson is simple. You do not have to explain everything or fix every opinion. You live, you build, you choose quietly to be kind, fair, and honest. When questions come, you answer with actions first and words only when they matter. Some days you may worry that you are being misunderstood or overlooked. This happens to everyone. In time, people see the truth. Actions have a way of showing what is real, even if it takes a while for others to notice. Your heart will feel lighter because you do not have to carry the weight of every discussion. The people who influence the world for the better almost always start small. They serve those near to them, finish each task with care, and face troubles with steady effort. Sometimes, their good work is only known by a few. Other times, their examples spread far and wide. What matters is they build their life on quiet action, not constant explanation, and trust that the results will be enough. You have the chance, every day, to follow this same way. Your story can inspire others, just like the examples from the past or present. You belong to a long line of people who choose to let actions, not arguments, tell their truth. As you keep going, you notice changes in how you feel and in those around you. People become more relaxed. There is less stress because not every small issue becomes a big conflict. Friends, family, or co-workers feel safe to be honest and make mistakes because they know problems can be solved with care. This is why the examples from history matter. They show us the power of kind words, patient hands, and brave hearts. They teach that strength often sits quietly, does its work, and lets the world see results with time. When you feel unsure or challenged, you can remember these stories, and remember that you are building your own example for the people near you. Let your life become a story that others can find hope in. Not because you argued or explained the most, but because you treated others well, stayed true to your path, and acted each day with calmness and respect. Your example will last, just like those who came before you. When you look back at the stories of people who lived with quiet strength, you start to think about your own life and your own choices. You realize that your actions have the power to change who you are inside. Every time you act, instead of explaining or arguing, you begin to feel more growth inside yourself. This growth turns into real confidence, a type of feeling that does not depend on what others say or think. It is something you build step by step through simple actions done with care and purpose. Confidence is not something you are born with or something that arrives all at once. Confidence grows each time you choose to act, to move forward, to stay calm, and to let your results speak for you. The feeling of true confidence comes quietly. It is not loud or showy. You might notice it on a normal day when you finish a task even though you felt nervous to start. You might notice it when you speak your mind honestly, even if you do not know if everyone will agree. You may notice it when you say no to something that is not right for you, or when you help someone without hoping for praise. Each of these small choices builds a little more strength inside. Often, people think that talking about what they will do is enough to feel sure. But these words do not bring lasting confidence. Confidence appears most strongly when you do what you promised, when you overcome a challenge, or when you see your hard work pay off, even in small ways. The most important part is the action itself, not the words or the attention that may or may not follow. To build your confidence, begin with a simple step. Choose something you care about and do it with your full attention. Do not worry about if it will be perfect or if everyone will notice. Focus only on doing your best in that one activity or duty. When it is finished, notice how you feel. Even if the result is small, you will feel a wave of quiet pride. Over time, these small actions add up and become a deep sense of trust in yourself. If you make a mistake, see it as part of your journey. Fix what you can, learn from it, and move forward. When you correct your own errors without complaining or searching for someone to blame, you prove to yourself that you are capable and responsible. This is how confidence grows strong. It can survive hard days, difficult tasks, and new situations because it is built on real experiences, not on hopes for approval or easy answers. When you stop feeling the need to talk about every plan or defend every idea, you get to use your energy in a better way. You have more time for your work, your family, your health, and your joy. Your days become fuller because you are not tired from trying to win every argument or explain every mistake. Instead, you are focused on action, on progress, and on learning new things. As your confidence grows, people around you will see changes, even if you never talk about it. People will notice that you are less worried and more sure of yourself. You may find that others ask for your help or look to you when things are difficult. They start to trust you because they can see that you do not need to talk too much. You prove yourself through what you do. Sometimes others may ask, "How are you always so calm?" Or "How did you get so confident?" The answer is always simple. Each day, you chose action over endless words. You focused on solutions instead of finding someone to blame. You said yes to challenges and no to things that did not fit your goals. You respected your time and your energy. You let your past results remind you that you are able even when new troubles come. The more you practice this way of living, the easier it becomes to face criticism. If someone doubts you, you do not have to fight back or explain all your reasons. You accept their point of view and then do your best to let your work speak for you. When time passes and your good results are clear, you feel even more certain that you have chosen well. You do not need to carry the burden of proving your worth with words. Your steady work teaches you and others that you are to be trusted. You will also see that your confidence grows every time you finish something, even if it is difficult. If you have a day where things do not go perfectly, but you finish what you started, this feeling of completion adds another layer to your strength. You start to feel comfortable with hard days and remain patient with yourself. You do not give up when things go wrong. You remember that every new effort is a chance to learn and grow. Confidence through action means you are able to try new things. You are not stuck in old patterns, and you are not afraid of new ideas. Since you are not looking for approval in every step, you take risks that help you grow. When you are focused on learning, not just on being right, mistakes become lessons that make you stronger. Other people start to notice that you are dependable. If you say you will do something, you do it. If you make a promise, you keep it. If you change your mind, you say so with honesty. This clear way of living builds a reputation of trust. People come to you for advice, for help, or for support. They know you are not perfect, but you are steady and sincere. Being confident also helps you accept yourself as you are. You stop being hard on yourself for small errors. You learn to laugh at your own mistakes and move past them quickly. When you hear criticism, you listen, but do not let it stop you from acting. You take what is useful and let the rest go. Your own opinion of your work begins to matter more, while the changing opinions of others matter less. Confidence makes life more enjoyable. You worry less about small details or what everyone thinks. You give more of yourself to friends and family. You do not need to be perfect or to hide your true feelings. People sense that you are at ease with yourself, and they feel more at ease around you. Your calmness spreads to others, making relationships stronger and more honest. Opportunities begin to show up when you live with confidence. You may be asked to lead a project, to help others, or to learn something new. You feel ready for new chances because you trust that you can handle them. Even if you do not know everything, you believe that action will help you learn what you need. You are not afraid to ask for help or to admit when you do not know something. This honesty draws good people and new experiences into your life. When you look to the past, you will see that every step, both good and hard, has helped you build this feeling inside. There is no single action that brings true confidence. It is made from each choice, each effort, and each time you show up for yourself. Even if you walk slowly, you are moving forward. It can also help to keep a small record of your results. Each evening, think of one thing you did well that day. It can be a simple task or something you are proud of finishing. When you have a hard day, look at these memories and remind yourself that you have proof of your ability to grow and succeed. These small reminders will make it easier to take action the next day. As your confidence becomes more natural, you will notice that you do not need as much praise from others. You will feel satisfied and peaceful even when nobody is watching. You know that you are moving in the right direction for you. This is a pleasant feeling. You feel lighter inside. You do not need to search for reasons to believe in yourself because your actions are the reason. Confidence also helps you deal with the opinions of others in a new way. When someone does not agree with you or does not understand your choices, you are able to listen without becoming angry. You keep your calm and move on with your plans. You no longer need to change yourself to make people happy. You can hear their words, thank them if it is useful, and then decide what is right for you. Over time, you begin to forget the old fear of being judged or left out. You know your strengths, and you are growing in your skills every day. You set new goals because you believe they are possible, not because someone else tells you what to do. Your life is shaped by your choices and by the faith you have built through your actions. As you continue to build confidence, notice how you treat others. You become more thoughtful, more kind, and less quick to judge. You want others to feel the same peace you have found. You become patient when friends make errors, and you respect the time it takes for everyone to grow in their own way. You teach, not by speaking, but by sharing your steady way of living. Building confidence through action is a path that never ends. Each day has new chances and new lessons. Sometimes you may take a step back, but you always have the choice to try again. Each honest effort adds to your sense of self, and you find new strength in places you did not look before. Others may comment on your strength, or they may not see you at all. This does not change the truth. You know what you have done, and you know what you are working towards. Your growth is for you, and the respect you earn comes from your own heart. Sometimes life brings unexpected trouble. You may have days when nothing seems to go right, or when mistakes feel too big to fix. These are the times when your confidence, built from many small actions, helps you stand up again. You do not stay down for long. You accept what happened, learn, and focus on the next step. You know you are not perfect, but you are strong in your efforts. With time, people you care about will start to come to you for advice. They see you are not shaken by problems or by new situations. They may ask how you stay calm or how you keep making progress. You can share your truth. Confidence is made from doing, from showing up, from learning, and from never giving up when it matters. Every small step you take grows this trust in yourself. Each simple action is a piece of a bigger picture. You do not need to rush. There is no finish line. The goal is to become your own true self, living each day with steady hands and a quiet mind. When you lie down to rest, you can feel proud, not because of what others think, but because you know you tried, you acted, and you learned. Your life is filled with honest effort and with the peace that comes from trusting your own journey. Confidence through action is not about being better than someone else. It is about becoming better for yourself, loving your own progress, and facing the world with open eyes and an open heart. You do not have to wait for permission, praise, or perfect answers. You only have to begin, one step at a time, again and again. Your actions become your history, and your confidence grows as you see what you can do. Each new day is a chance to practice, to build, and to find peace in your own path. Confidence is always possible, always growing, every time you choose to act and to let your life be your proof. When your confidence grows through steady action, you notice that something else in your life starts to change. The way you connect with people becomes easier, lighter, and more honest. Your relationships with family, friends, people at work, and everyone you see each day feel different. This change does not happen just because you talk less or try to prove yourself less. It happens because you use your energy for real actions instead of endless explanations. You begin to see that strong relationships are not built in constant words, but in trust, kindness, and being true to yourself. It is common to think that explaining every detail makes things clear and avoids problems. People do this at home, at work, and with friends. If there is disagreement or confusion, they may give many reasons, repeat what they said, or speak for a long time to make sure everyone understands. But this habit, even when it is done with good intentions, often makes relationships complicated. The more you try to clarify, the more tired you and the other person become. Sometimes, explaining too much makes others feel that you do not trust them to understand or respect your choices. As your actions start to speak for you, people begin to notice the truth in what you do rather than what you say. At home, your family sees that you keep small promises, like helping with the chores, listening without judgment, or being there when someone needs comfort. Your words become fewer, but your support becomes stronger and real. People stop expecting long explanations. They learn they can count on you because you show up, finish what you start, and face difficulties with patience. With friends, the same thing happens. You do not need to tell long stories to defend yourself or to win every argument. When you disagree, you do it calmly. You admit if you are wrong, or you offer a simple answer and move on. There are fewer fights because you do not try to make everyone see things your way. Instead, you listen, accept, and keep the friendship strong. People thank you not for your explanations, but for your honesty and your consistent actions. Trust is the heart of every healthy relationship. Trust does not grow because of words alone. It grows when people see that you live by what you say, even in small ways. When you are on time, when you remember promises, when you act with fairness, you build a safe space for others. Over the days, months, and years, this trust becomes the strength of every connection. With children, this lesson is very clear. Children pay attention to what adults do much more than what adults say. If you explain the rules, but do not follow them yourself, children learn to doubt your words. If you speak softly but always act with care, patience, and fairness, children feel loved and safe. Your actions become their example. They copy your way of solving problems and staying calm, even when things are hard. In your workplace or school, using action instead of endless talk changes how people see you. Your teachers, classmates, co-workers, or boss will notice that you finish what you start, help others willingly, and keep your word. When problems come, you look for solutions instead of looking for someone to blame or talking in circles. You accept feedback, fix mistakes, and keep going. This makes people trust you with bigger things. They learn that even when you do not talk much, you are serious about your work and your team. Conflicts can still happen in any relationship. Sometimes people will misunderstand you, or you will make mistakes. When this happens, it can be tempting to try to explain everything. You might want to tell your whole side of the story, or go over the details again and again, but you now understand that accepting responsibility and quietly working to make things right is often better than talking for hours. You apologize if needed, fix what is broken, and then move forward. People respect you more for your maturity and your courage to act. There are moments when someone is upset and wants to fight. You may feel pressure to defend yourself or prove you are correct, but the habit of steady action helps you stay calm. You listen even if the other person is not calm. When you speak, you choose simple, clear words. Sometimes you do not answer at all and just let your actions explain your true intentions. Over time, the people around you learn that you do not react to every small problem. This calm reaction often ends fights before they grow bigger. The way you talk changes too. When you are less worried about approval or being liked by everyone, your words become more honest and gentle. You say what matters, not just what others want to hear. You listen more, and this makes others feel respected. Silences become peaceful, not heavy, because there is trust. People want to spend time with you, not for your arguments or fancy talk, but for your steady presence. Relationships with people who want you to always explain or justify yourself may become less important. You learn to spend more time with those who respect your path and do not try to control your every move. If someone does not value your actions or wants to argue about every detail, you are less thrown by it. You do not carry their anger or confusion with you. You give your best and then you let go. Healthy boundaries become possible because you can now say no or say nothing when something is not right for you. This does not create distance. Instead, it keeps the relationship honest. Other people see that you value your own needs and time, and many will learn to do the same for themselves. You are kinder and more patient because you are not always exhausted from trying to be perfect or win approval. You also find that forgiveness is easier. When you live by action and not long explanations, you do not get stuck in blaming or past fights. You notice what you and others do today, and you allow people to change and grow. This helps both you and your loved ones heal when mistakes happen. The relationship gets stronger because there is room for trust again. Respect is present in both directions. When you respect yourself, people return that respect. You become an example, not because you demand it or talk about it, but because you show it. Quiet strength and calm actions are easy to see and hard to forget. In every type of relationship, this way creates a feeling of safety and hope. When challenges show up, you do not panic. You remind yourself to look for solutions, not for blame. You support others without feeling used because you know your limits. You help when you can, and you rest when you must. Others can trust your yes and accept your no because your actions have always been clear. Daily routines become more peaceful. There are fewer long debates and more simple help given and received. You do not waste time trying to fix every misunderstanding. When there is trouble, you pause, you listen, and you look for a path that brings peace. If nothing can be fixed right away, you do not force words. You give things time, and people see your patience. This way of living does not mean that you hide your feelings or your dreams. You still share your hopes, your joy, your worries, and your plans. You open your heart, but you do not beg for approval at every step. You trust that those who love you will listen, even if they do not always agree. You do not need to win every argument, and you are not afraid of silence. Small acts of kindness become more important than any speech. A smile, an offer of help, a quiet "thank you," or a simple meal shared together. These small moments build memories and trust in every home and friendship. People stay close not because of your words, but because they feel the truth of your care and commitment. When you make a mistake, you do not fear losing respect. You know that honest action can repair most things. You admit the error, try to fix it, and do better next time. Children, family, and friends notice this and often forgive quickly because they see your heart is open and your effort is real. Sometimes you will notice that people change as they see you live this way. Friends become more open. Family fights are solved faster. Workmates stop gossiping and start helping more. Even people you meet for the first time feel the calmness and confidence you bring. The peaceful energy in your relationships spreads outside of you and helps everyone grow. Your connection with yourself also becomes deeper. You carry less guilt and less fear. You look in the mirror and see someone reliable, honest, and strong. This picture gives you comfort on hard days. Even if you feel misunderstood sometimes, you know who you are. This sense of self gives you patience and hope for every difficulty. You might notice that your life feels simpler in the best way. You enjoy talking about ideas, hopes, and plans instead of old arguments or past hurts. You notice the needs of others and meet them with a quiet action or a listening ear. You do not interrupt or give advice unless it is needed. This makes people feel safe with you. They trust you to respect them and to keep their words safe. In every group, there are moments when people do not agree. You are not afraid of these moments. You do not react or try to change every mind. You listen, you share your view if needed, and you accept that differences are natural. This makes you a peaceful part of every family, team, or group you join. As your actions become your main way of speaking, you notice that even when people are busy or distracted, your effort matters. People remember your help, your strong work, your care for them, and your patience. It stays with them long after they forget your words. Each day, you receive the gift of honest, simple connection. You build trust, kindness, and joy, without stress or the need to always explain yourself. Difficult moments are solved with action, patience, and forgiveness. Happy moments are shared without worry. Relationships are strong, but not heavy. You can see this kind of bond with children, parents, friends, co-workers, partners, and even new people you meet. Everywhere you go, you carry the same calm self, ready to help, ready to act, and ready to let things go. Your habit of less explaining invites others to meet you in this honest place. You are free from the old habit of defending every choice. You no longer think you must win every disagreement or be the loudest in every room. You see that what really matters is how you treat people, what you give, and how you live each day. Explanations are not gone forever, but they are simple, true, and not tiring. Your reputation grows in quiet, strong ways. People talk about your kindness and dependability. Your advice is asked for more often because people know it is given without pride. They trust that you will say the truth or stay silent if words are not needed. You become a safe person for others, clear, steady, and comforting in both good and hard times. In this simple life, there is more space for happiness. There are more hours for love, creativity, laughter, and friendship. There is less worry about misunderstandings or what others might think. Peace becomes the foundation of your connections, and gratitude grows every time you see how action brings people together. Living this way gives you the chance to build relationships that last. These bonds stay strong through changes, mistakes, and growing years. They are real because they are built on action, trust, kindness, and the courage to be your true self. No long speech or explanation can ever replace these gifts. As you keep going, you see that everyone in your life benefits from your example. You live every day showing that peace, love, and respect are possible, not because of words, but because of choices, patience, and steady, honest action. When you start living each day focused on honest actions, steady kindness, and a quiet mind, life becomes lighter and more peaceful. You have stronger connections with people because you use your energy for what really matters. Trust grows naturally in these moments. True respect for yourself and from others becomes something real that does not need to be chased. This is the simple path that leads to a calm heart, a clear mind, and a strong life. Letting go of the need to defend, explain, or prove everything brings freedom. You stop carrying the heavy feeling that everyone is watching or judging you. You do not spend hours worrying about finding the right answer for each question. Your time and attention return to your real values, your work, and the people who matter most. Each day feels simpler because you are no longer trying to win every argument or explain every small decision. You notice your own mind become quieter. There are fewer thoughts about what others might think or say about your choices. You start to hear your own wishes, dreams, and ideas again. In the morning, you wake up ready to follow your own plan, not what you hope will please the world. You use your voice for what is important and stay quiet in moments that used to bring stress. This new way of living helps you avoid many old traps. You no longer lose yourself in endless explanations or repeat old mistakes just to be liked. Instead, you stand by your values even if others do not agree. If questions come, you answer gently or sometimes say nothing at all. You keep your focus on the next step, the next honest act, the next opportunity to do good. You see that mistakes and problems are not disasters anymore. When you live with quiet strength, you do not fear a bad moment or a hard day. If something goes wrong, you take responsibility, fix what you can, and let the rest pass. You feel less guilt and less shame. There is hope in every day because you trust yourself to act with care. At work, your focus brings new results. You stop worrying about how to be seen by your boss or co-workers and instead turn your attention to your tasks. You finish what needs to be done and help others who need support. You do not waste time on long meetings where everyone only talks. Instead, you use time for building, learning, and making things better. People notice your effort and start to trust that you will always show up and do your part. With friends, the simple path brings more honest connections. You share moments of laughter, listen when there is pain, and give help without expecting anything in return. Arguments become rare because you no longer feel you must win or defend your choices. You enjoy silence and comfort, knowing that your actions are enough to show your care. In your family, kindness grows because you stop keeping score. Helping, listening, and caring become natural. You do not feel the need to explain yourself after every mistake or after every no. You set healthy limits, and others learn to respect them. The house becomes a place of peace, even when there are busy days or disagreements. Mistakes are repaired with action and forgiveness, not with long explanations. You notice yourself feeling stronger and more relaxed. The stress of trying to gain approval or not disappoint people becomes less important. Peace fills the spaces of your mind, and there is a gentle sense of ease in your daily life. You have time for rest, for learning, for playing, or pursuing the things that bring you happiness. Letting your actions speak replaces the old habit of using many words. You become comfortable with silence, with waiting for results, and with showing others your values by the choices you make every day. People begin to trust your word because it has been proved in your work and in your patience. This quiet trust creates a reputation that lasts for many years. You may sometimes meet people who do not understand this way of living. They may want more explanations or ask again and again for your reasons. You do not take this personally. You remain calm, answer if you wish, or let your actions show the truth in time. Over days, weeks, and years, people remember your steadiness far more than any long talk. This path is not always easy at the start. You may feel unsure when you first break the habit of over-explaining. Old fears can return, telling you that you will lose respect or make mistakes if you are not always ready to defend yourself. These feelings are normal, but they pass as you learn to trust your actions and let results speak for themselves. Slowly, approval from others loses its power over your heart. You begin to feel a new kind of freedom. You are able to say yes or no without guilt. You can share your ideas, take risks, or even change your mind, all without worrying about criticism. Each day, your sense of self-worth grows because you do not build it on what others say. As you continue on this simple path, your confidence grows without needing to talk about it. Every finished task, every honest answer, every gentle silence adds to your strength inside. You know you are good enough because your actions prove it again and again. You do not have to chase perfection or try to please every single person in your life. People trust you more. At home, others know you will help and keep your word. At work, teams feel safe with you because you are fair and consistent. Friends feel your care without needing reassurance all the time. Even strangers notice your calm presence and treat you with more respect. Each day brings opportunities to act with honesty. There are moments to listen, to help, to do something useful, or simply to keep moving forward. Your attention is on these simple acts, not on the opinions of people who may not even know your real story. This focus saves your energy and fills your days with meaning. Being true to yourself also helps you face new challenges with strength. If you are asked to do something new or face a hard task, you do not freeze or panic. You remember what you have already done, and you know you can learn and grow. Mistakes no longer feel like failures. They become proof of your courage and your promise to keep trying. Respect becomes a real part of your life. You no longer wish for it or search for it. Your actions and steady choices earn it naturally. People remember what you do much more than what you say. They come to you for advice, trust you with their thoughts, and invite you into new projects because they know you are serious and dependable. Your sense of peace grows. At the end of each day, you remember your actions, not your debates. You rest knowing that what you have done is enough. You are free from the old circle of trying to win arguments or trying to be right every moment. Life is open and calm for you, and you are able to enjoy simple joys again. With this change, you also notice that others start to follow your example. Children, friends, and co-workers watch your choices. They see that you do not rush to explain or worry about every opinion. They trust your quiet power and begin little by little to become more peaceful themselves. You become a positive influence, not with big speeches, but with living truly and honestly every day. Happiness grows in these moments. Without the need to carry the weight of other people's thoughts, you have room for joy. You notice what makes you happy, and you give time to these things. You celebrate your progress without feeling you must share it with everyone. Your heart feels lighter because you trust yourself and respect your own path. Sometimes you may have days when old habits try to return. You may want to explain something, defend a mistake, or answer a criticism quickly. On these days, remind yourself of all the peace, respect, and confidence you have earned by letting actions speak for you. Take a breath and trust that you do not need to use words for every single moment. Your actions have already made your truth clear. Practicing this simple path is an ongoing choice. You learn each day. You do not need to win every discussion, and you do not need to hide away from people. You take each moment as it comes, listening, acting, or speaking only when it is needed. As you do this more often, your life becomes richer and filled with calm. With this way of living, misunderstandings are fewer. When problems do come, they are solved by action, by listening, and by forgiveness, not by exhausting talks. You know how to let go of what no longer matters and how to give attention only to what builds a better life. You also see that being silent or calm does not mean never speaking up. There are times when you must give an answer or defend what is right. You know by now how to choose these moments. When you do speak, your words carry more meaning because you use them thoughtfully, after you have acted with care and respect. Every year, your reputation becomes stronger. People trust your word, your work, and your presence. You develop a simple strength that does not need rewards, praise, or constant attention. Your confidence grows more quietly, but more deeply each time you choose to act over debate. All the parts of life are touched by this approach. Your friendships, your family life, your place at work, and your feeling about yourself are all built on trust, honesty, and calm choices. Over time, you become known not for your arguments, but for your reliability and for your peace. This is the new foundation you have built, a foundation that stands even on rough days, even when mistakes are made or when others doubt you. It cannot be taken from you because it is made from your own actions, day after day, choice after choice. It comes from respecting yourself and trusting that this is enough. Allowing actions to be the proof of your truth is something anyone can do. No special skill is needed, only the choice to live with more attention to doing than to explaining. You remember that silence can be stronger than speaking, and calm stronger than defending. You know now that your worth does not come from approval, but from your ability to stand by your truth, no matter how small the act. Your life becomes lighter. Your mind becomes more peaceful, and your heart becomes more steady with every day you practice these simple steps. You gain respect, confidence, and harmony by living with intention. What you do speaks for you. This is the simple, real way to win the trust and admiration of others, and most importantly, to have deep respect for yourself. This path is open to everyone, every day. Each morning brings a chance to act with care. Each evening a chance to rest because your life is your own. When you follow this way, you have no need for heavy words or endless explanations. You find quiet joy in each step and a respect that will carry you through all times. Your actions are always your strongest message. You can choose this path again and again, knowing that your truth shines in what you do, in the peace you create, and in the respect that, quietly, always grows.